take to start a stream.
We're live on Dodgers Football Stand. Welcome if you have just joined. We're finally live. It's took us ages. I've been out doing football with YouTube FC till 7:30, and then it took me ages to get home after dropping one of the lads off. We are joined by two special guests, as you'll see in the title. I will announce them in a moment. But this is a live preview for Middlesbrough versus Nottingham Forest at the Riverside Stadium tomorrow afternoon. 3 o'clock kickoff. And it's the return of a good manager that we all know. AK. Well, otherwise known as Aitor Karanka. Known as AK. Nottingham Forest, on an interesting start of the season. I'd say about 50% success rate for them. They've had 16 points out of 33 so far to start the season. Boro have done miles better at the minute. 22 points out of 33, which, to be honest with you, at 22, it's not Premier League quality by any stretch of the imagination. But it is a good start, and it's a start that we can improve on. If we win tomorrow, we go to 25 points out of 36, which is a pretty good start. It's still 11 points dropped, which is... it's decent when you look at some of the teams we've come up against. Well, as I said, we are joined by two very special guests. Joined by two special guests. Going to start with the one who's been on the channel probably the most amount of times in a lot of the other streams. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the owner of YouTube FC. It's Joe Willet. Hi. Oh, don't know what happened there, but yeah, that's Joe Willet, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And our second guest, I am privileged to say that I am absolutely pleasured with joy to be joined by a big Boro vlogger. I say big Boro vlogger. He's got 700 subs and he's reached the 700 mark currently. One of a big Boro YouTuber for us. He also does vlogs for other stuff as well. Hartlepool's. And he also does Boro vlogs, and I'm proud to say I am joined by this man. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. MikeLouden.
Hello.
Hey, yeah, alright, mate?
Hello, guys.
It's Mike.
Yeah. MikeLouden's making his professional debut on the channel today, ladies and gentlemen. I've been on his channel once. I believe it was the Sheffield United away vlog. From last season, if I'm not much mistaken. But as I say, yeah, thank you very much, guys, for coming on. Let's get into action. So, as I say, I'm going to start with my opinion. I think for us, we just have to go out and do what we did against Ipswich. Play a very entertaining first half, possibly get 2 goals, and then I can see us sitting back if we end up, you know, if we're 2-0 up at half time, like Ipswich. I think we're going to sit back and just try and keep hold of this lead for the rest of the game. If you haven't already done so, please drop a like. Very much appreciated, guys. Thank you very much for joining the stream. But yeah, I think we're going to win 2-0. I think it's going to be comfortable. I'm going to say, well, I'm going to be risky as usual. I'm going to say that the man who used to score for Nottingham Forest is going to score for Boro. Britta Sombalonga, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to that game. It's Britta Sombalonga playing against his former team. Whilst Aitor Karanka and Lee Tomlin come back to their former club as well. So it's going to be an interesting game. Going to be some reunions and stuff on the touchline. So I'm really looking forward to it. Mr. Money Gaming also says 2-0 to Middlesbrough. I haven't got the notepad at the minute, so I'm going to add the predictions in a moment. So I'll just write them down. I'll actually just write the predictions down as we go along. So Mr. Money Gaming says 2-0 Boro. And yeah, as I say, thank you very much for joining me. Please drop a like if you haven't already done so. That'd be very much appreciated. Rob Beswick, thank you very much for joining the stream as well. Please drop a like, very much appreciated. Get your comments and predictions in the live chat. Obviously, tomorrow you will have till 3 o'clock to get your predictions in before I close them at the game. There's a vlog coming out as well for tomorrow's. Rob Beswick says 3-1 Boro. So he thinks it's going to be a comprehensive win. I think it's going to be 2-0 for me. 3-1 win. But as I say, we're going to start with MikeLouden first. Mike, like I said, it's a tough game. The return of Aitor Karanka. How do you think Boro will do?
I reckon it could be a 0-all draw. There's very much a hockey game of football. There's very much football just getting booted to one end to the other.
Yeah.
We know what Karanka's like, and Pulis, like, just boot the ball out, like, I think much, I think that sort of game could be just pretty much one of the boot the ball to the other end games.
I agree. I think it could either be a one. I think it'll either be a one-sided match, or it could be dull and possibly be a draw. Can you see us conceding? I mean, we haven't conceded a single goal at home in the league this season. But do you think tomorrow might be the day where we might concede one?
It's hard to say, really. We might, then we might not. But Forest have scored quite a lot lately, but they have left quite a lot in.
Like I said, it's going to be an interesting game, though, isn't it? What Bezrakia says, what's your take on Cristiano Ronaldo's rape accusations? In my opinion, it's just BS, nothing true in it. Who knows that? Who knows what footballers get up to these days? Why is there 334 at the top of the screen? It's a subscriber count. So I'm starting to add new widgets and stuff. How many subscribers does it? And that's why it says 334, because I'm a 334 company. Yeah. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe down below for more content. Obviously, hopefully might be able to get Mike on another stream at some point. Mr. Money Gaming, although he said 2-0, but he said also it could also be a 1-1 game, so you never know with Boro exactly. How many subscribers does it? That's what 334. Yeah, that is what it is up there. I'm going to come to Joe now. Joe's obviously got a lot of experience on this channel. Obviously. Joe, how do you think we'll do tomorrow?
Has he forgotten about me?
No, I haven't. I knew you were there. How do you think we'll do tomorrow against a pretty strong Forest team?
I'm going to cheer all up. I'm going to say Middlesbrough 0, Nottingham Forest 1.
Oh.
I think it'd be one of them games and I think it'd be like 90th minute. I think it'd be one of them games, but we'll keep going at it. We know what Aitor's like. We know what he does against the big team. He likes to frustrate. He likes to have a lot of the ball in his possession. And I think he'll really get this Nottingham Forest side to come and frustrate Middlesbrough. I predicted Forest to win the league beginning of the season. Not going to happen. But I think he's got to come. He's got to frustrate Middlesbrough. He's got to make it hard for us to win. And then I think we'll get like a corner later on. But we'll kind of switch off last minute or so. Forest had a 1-0. Away fans going crazy. Boro fans crying in the seats. I just think recently, apart from Ipswich, we've been dropping a lot of points recently. If you notice, we drop points to like Hull, we drop points to Norwich, drop points to Swansea, so on. We dropped points to Leeds. I know that was a good point, but we still dropped points.
I mean,
really, I think I wouldn't say reality is coming because you'd expect us to win the league, but I think it's getting a bit more like how we'd have expected it now than just the start of the season was amazing. So
yeah, I do agree. I think
days up.
Yeah, I agree. I think Aitor Karanka, although he knows exactly what he's doing. He did say in his I did read BBC Sport Boro Fan TV's thing on Instagram saying that Aitor Karanka says he's got nothing to prove. Now, for me, look, you can't underestimate the Boro. I mean, the Boro are a good team. We are very strong. Forest are a good side as well, but at the minute they're not on as good a form as Boro are, if you know what I actually mean. Mr. Money Gaming says, Joe's back again. Why have you not got Kieran on the call? Because Kieran's not a Boro fan, simple as. Where's Joe from? He's from Redcar. What are you writing down? I'm writing down the predictions.
I was born in Boro.
born in Boro, lives in Bydgar. Boro going into the Premier League. Hope, like to see it. Or West Brom again. Nah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm writing down the predictions. So your predictions are 1-0 defeat. Look, I wouldn't be surprised if we do have one of those games because, you know, as you said, Aitor Karanka is going to come and frustrate us, hopefully. Hopefully not, I say, but he'll be wanting to frustrate us a lot. And I think if he frustrates us a lot, it's going to get the fans frustrated. It's going to put more pressure on us.
They've won every time. Well, the last 3 times on about. No, hang on.
I think they lost 2-0 last time they played us.
They've won.
I think they lost 2-0 at Boro last time, I believe. So it's not an easy game.
Like we won like 2-0. They beat Birmingham when Gary Monk returned. They beat Derby twice and Steve McClellan returned.
Mr. Money Game says, imagine Boro in the Premier League next season if they get in. I can't see it. I seriously cannot see it.
I can. I'm joking.
Unless we're Leicester. What am I recording? What do you mean, what am I recording? I'm live. Right, the mic works. Good. I'm using Streamlabs on the iPad. By the way, I don't know if you told us this, Mike, but what was your score prediction?
0-0.
You said 1-0 defeat, Joe.
No, Mike said 0-0.
Did you say 0-0?
Yeah, I said 0-0.
Alright. Like I say, mine's going to be 2-0 Boro. I think we'll win comprehensively. I think it'll be an interesting game. I think it's a game that we can possibly win. And as I say, we're going to have to play good football. We're going to have to play like we did at Ipswich in the first half and get those early goals. The early goals are the important part. Get an early goal, and it's already backs to the wall for the opposition.
Yeah,
we need an early goal.
Get an early goal and sit back and shot.
Yeah.
10 men behind the ball.
Yeah. By the way, it's as I say, what are your thoughts on Aitor Karanka returning again? I'll start with Mike again this time.
He was brilliant for us.
I think he's like the best manager we've had, but and of course the hairdresser doesn't agree with that, but when people disagree with stuff, they're like, I think he's been the best manager we've had, been like, honest. He's better Pulis than Gary Monk by far. I mean, Mowbray was good as well. I mean, somehow, thinking about it now, I'd rather still have Gary Monk.
What? No, I like Pulis, mate. I disagree, to be honest.
Sorry, I'll be honest with you.
Disagree with them, even. It's just the same. Of course, like,
do you agree, Dowell?
Stand in football, anything of what people say, I just let them have their say, like, because I don't like argue with them and say them wrong, because it's very much like just an opinion. Yeah,
definitely. I don't know, just I can see improvement under Pulis. I think he's sorted the defence out. I don't know, I just think we've improved overall with Pulis.
Yeah, he has. I agree with that. He definitely has, like, put some on the team. Like, when Gary Monk bought them, what Gary Monk pretty much done, he just bought an average team and then, like, couldn't do anything with them. Then Pulis came in and have hardly brought any players in, then put about an extra 20% on the team.
I'd prefer Dowell as the manager.
That won't happen for quite a bit. Look, for me, I'll be honest with you, I do agree with what Joe says. I agree with what Joe said. Because for me, I'd prefer to get results than get defeats. Now, the only issue with Gary Monk, I mean, his football and tactics were sometimes hit and miss. The only issue with him was we weren't getting the results that we wanted. Now, under Tony Pulis, right? Under Tony Pulis, he knows what he's doing.
Back post.
Yeah, back
Awful.
We were just losing at the back post all the time.
Yeah.
Leeds away, think of two back post goals we conceded.
Leeds, Millwall, Bristol City, Derby at home, and about probably another.
Did we lose at Birmingham when we had him in charge?
We didn't have him under Monk. We didn't go to Birmingham under Monk, Darryl.
No, I'm sure we didn't. I'm just going to look at some of the comments here. A couple of guys have come in. If you are new to this channel, guys, please subscribe down below. Very much appreciated for more Boro content. Mr. Money Gaming says, betting Man City in dreams. Boro #1 fan, thank you very much for joining, mate. Please drop a like if you haven't already done so. Very much appreciated. He says, hello, guys. Karanka is in the past, or we need to forget about him. Yeah, I mean, we can forget about his managerial career at Boro, but we can't forget that he's probably the only one to take us to the Premier League in this century at the minute. Not in this century. I mean, in the you know what I mean. In the past decade, he's the only one who struggled to the Premier League in the last decade. And for me, I think he was our most successful manager in the last couple of years. I know he's nowhere near as good as Steve McLaren was in 2004 and stuff, and we actually won the cup. But for me, we actually, you know, we did well. We managed to get to the Premier League, and although it might have been lucky, Aitor Karanka was successful. I know that the Premier League didn't work out exactly how he wanted it, but to be honest with you, when we went up, I didn't really have high hopes for us in the Premier League anyway. But like I said, yeah, I know Aitor Karanka might be in the past, but it's
a lot of money though, didn't he?
It's
compared. No,
yeah.
Karanka compared to the likes of like Mowbray and that.
But for us, I mean, I think
Mowbray got like.
Like I say, Aitor Karanka's been our better manager.
It was even said Mowbray has the least amount of money to spend.
Exactly.
Any Boro manager, if all you get sent in that days, but aye.
He bought some good players in, didn't he?
When it comes to money, I've made a point about Pulis. You can never end up into financial fair play with him because he never even buys anyone.
He's bought a couple of people in, well, on loan.
He's bought Clinton back there. Bear in mind that one of two of the ones he bought have at least been good.
Yeah.
I like Flint. I'm not keen on Mac there. But of course, everyone else is on one loan. That's the point I made. You can never end up in financial fair play with him in charge because he won't buy anyone. But
yeah.
To go up to the Premier League, he's obviously going to have to buy some.
Yeah, definitely.
Rely on his team and just get him on loan. Of course, you can only have 5 players of loanees in your match day lineup. So he's going to have some.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I was thinking, and it came that transfer window, I was thinking, he thinks he owns the club, I was thinking. The way he was spending the money. Well, by not spending it.
I do think the only issue with us under Tony Pulis is we haven't really signed anyone like that we really would have liked.
I'm not going to phone them out the signing because we're doing all right without.
No, we are doing well without them in a minute. Just another comments coming in. Mr. Money Gamer says 2-0 Boro, my score. I've already got your prediction in. He says, also, I think we will have to play as good as Leeds. Straight goal and don't get kicked in the teeth at the end. Boro #1 fan says, big up to MikeLouden for...
the teeth to fall out.
No, not... Oh, he's joking. Boro #1 fan says, big up to MikeLouden for travelling to Ipswich on a Tuesday night. Absolute legend.
Thank you, Boro #1 fan.
Mr. Money Game says, what's that drink? It's actually a can of Lucasade from B&M. 49p! What a bargain.
49p!
Mr. Money Game says, my city is Peterborough, and they're top of League 1 minute. But I live in Borough for about 2 years. They're not top of League 1, they're second in League 1 because I checked the table. Boro number 1 fan also says here, I'm a big believer that Pulis will take us up this year, and who do you think will be relegated this season? That's a point I'm going to talk about in a minute. Yeah, I'll come on to that point in a moment. Yes, it's a preview at the same time as well. Mr. Money Game says, I would love Boro to play against Spurs at home next season. Well, to be honest with you, I don't... He says Spurs will win 100%, like 4-0. You said that. You only beat us 2-1 at home last time. Kean Finn's joined. Thank you very much for joining us, free mate. And Nick Muller's joined saying 2-1 either way. So I'll just put 2-1. I won't put to who, but Nick Muller says 2-1 either way. 2-1. Well, EW, just either way. Logan says I predict... Logan Beaton, thanks very much for joining as well. Logan says I predict a 1-1 draw. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends as a draw. I don't see it as I don't think it would be the end of the world if we did get a draw, but it wouldn't be too promising for us at the minute. So, yeah, 1-1. Boro number 1 fan says, Mike, it's Alex Tom Blanche's friend.
Tom Blanchard.
Alex Tom Blanche friend. Kean says we'll win 1-0 tomorrow with Britta Sambalonga scoring. Boro number 1 fan says yeah. Hopefully we'll be singing that when he scores tomorrow. My prediction, Boro number 1 fan says it's going to be 3-1 Boro, but it is going to be a hard game. Thank you very much for that. Just write this in quickly. Number 1 fan, 3-1 win. Mr. Money Gaming says 5-5 draw, Boro, imagine. I think he means that against Spurs. Can't see that. Boro number 1 fan says yes, Tom Blanchard, who you said. But yeah, if you are new to the channel, guys, please subscribe down below for more content. Wonderwater 350, or if you like going even higher, on the water 400 at the minute. Also check out the other two lads as well. For brilliant content. Exchange Gaming 11 Players says 1-1. Thank you very much. By the way, once I've got your predictions down on here, you don't need to put them in the comment section. So yours is already saved. But yeah, I'm going to start with Joe this time because I haven't started with Joe first of all. I'm going to ask you.
What time do you reckon the stream will end at?
Won't be much longer though. Keenan is live. Yes, I know. I'm going to tune into that in a bit. Who was it that put? Oh God, who was it that put that thing? Boro number 1 fan, right? I'm going to ask you this. I know. Well, this is live, but if you support a club and we think you're going to go down, sorry. But Joe, who do you think is going to get relegated this season?
Ipswich.
Likely, yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm not sure. I think Ipswich will go.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you look at Ipswich, I mean, their home form's awful.
I'm not sure who else.
Well, Ipswich, to be honest with you, Ipswich. Sorry, Nick, but that Ipswich would be one of the options I would go for. Mainly because of the way that they've started the season. The way they've started the season, cack. When you look at their home form, it's not great. But as I say, Mr. Money Gaming says West Brom relegated and Leeds. Can't see that. For me, I think Ipswich Town.
Leeds United and Leeds United.
Leeds won't go. Ipswich. I think Millwall will go down as well because Millwall haven't had a good start, and Rotherham United. I think QPR will probably scrape up.
Rotherham. I've got to say.
Nick Muller says, Mike, I saw Yusuf for Ipswich on your video. Is he back on YouTube? No. Bo number 1 fan says, for me, Ipswich, Rotherham and maybe Millwall. Exactly as I've just said. Mr. Money Gaming says, don't speak too much because season's not over yet. He also says QPR, and Nick Muller says QPR will go.
Mike need to say who he thinks is going down.
Yeah, Mike, who do you think is going to go?
Well, it's hard to say at the minute, but I'd say definitely one of somebody who are in the bottom 3 in a minute.
Yeah.
Maybe someone who aren't quite in the bottom 3 yet, or actually, I'll say it about this one because a lot of factors to go. I think this could be a one to do this year. Sunderland and
Stoke?
That's interesting, that.
Had a bad start.
That's interesting. I'll be honest with you. Truthfully honest, I don't think Stoke will go.
Will go down as well. I think Millwall and Preston will be alright.
Yes, Millwall stay up. I agree, Mike.
Oh, Bo number 1 fan here.
I hate to say this because I like going to this place for the away game. Maybe it's Ipswich because I'm just won a game out of 10, but if I have drawn a lot, you don't know because it's only early. Like last season, Bolton lost only won one of about the first 10 and managed to do it on the skin of the teeth at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Very worried.
Interesting. I think it's interesting Stoke going down. I'll be honest with you, I cannot see it, but...
Like, the players are brought down with them, like, before they were good enough, but...
Jack Butler's not very good, to be honest with you.
And this is the point about Stoke. I absolutely hate. They're probably like, well, I know it's just a small percent, but Stoke, I hate to say it, them in West Brom, the proper arrogance of me, that I didn't give them a place in my top 10.
Yeah.
What, the fans?
What?
The fans are arrogant with you.
Yeah. But like...
It's the Wolves fans who don't like me.
Ugh.
I think if you got Wolves home, then... that would be
Swansea weren't too bad to me. Like, no Swansea fan pretty much gave me out, but it was pretty much Stoke and West Brom were having a go at me for like how I set up the top 10 and didn't give them a place in it. But
Wolves fans will...
the reason I didn't give them a place is because, well, to be honest, of top 10, I wouldn't give anybody who haven't been in the Championship, well, who've been in the Premier League for like 3 years or more, I wouldn't give them a place top 10 for Championship.
I've got to admit, it's Wolves fans who hate me, but I can see why. I've got a bit angry with my Wolves vlog. But then, I don't know.
That's what happens.
It wasn't towards the fans, it was towards the players, because they were just... I thought they were wasting a bit of time, personally, but...
Yeah. Most of them, the majority of them are alright, but he's another one. Sutton being the West Midlands again. A small amount of...
Birmingham?
Aston Villa fans. I say this carefully just so I don't offend any of them, because the majority of Aston Villa fans will all sound. But a small amount with a bit arrogant. Like, a few were saying, how's it? Now I said, Wembley is still in our hands after the first round of Villa.
Yeah, I didn't agree with that, but fair enough.
They started digging at me. How is it in your hands? Like, they're only 1-0, and the fourth had already won it. Like, thinking, 1-0 isn't enough when there's another 90 minutes to go.
Yeah. Look, for me, sometimes, look, when you look at Aston Villa fans were saying that, so we're in the final, we're going to absolutely tonk Fulham and get to the Premier League. You lost. Nick Muller says QPR and Reading will go. Well, that's interesting. And Bo number 1 fan here, interesting one. Would you like to see...
You still go to the Swansea and West Brom game?
What?
Even if
Away?
no, I think it was Swansea West Brom. I can't remember who you said. Would you still go to them? Would you still go to them games, even though there's some fans who are a bit arrogant with you?
I wouldn't be bothered. I would still go to the game. I wouldn't be bothered if fans were arrogant to me anyway. But Bo number one fan here says, would you like to see Newcastle go down or them stay up? I think if we go up to the Premier League, I want Newcastle going down, so that means 1 up, 1 down. Because I think
I'd like to play them.
Yeah, but I think Sunderland are going to get pretty promoted from League One. To be honest with you, where they started.
Play Newcastle, mate. We haven't played them in ages.
We're playing them tomorrow. But United are. Mr. Money Gaming says here, Dazza, who do you think will get relegated from the Premier League? Man United relegated. The way it's going, I can see that happening, but I can't see it. For me, going down from the Premier League, West Ham, Newcastle, and Cardiff.
How long left of the stream, mate?
Going to finish in about 2 minutes or so. But keep getting comments coming in.
I'm not bothered that. I was just wondering.
Mr. Money Gaming says, I waited Millwall last season, but not this season, poor Millwall. And Bo number one fan, final one for a minute, says, what's your thought on the sacking of Steve Bruce? To be honest, yeah, it was bound to happen because he's been poor this season.
Steve Bruce as for the manager.
Nah, I prefer Tony Pulis.
I would, but not over Pulis.
Nah. So, is there any final thoughts you want to talk about before the game?
I've got a couple more things to say.
Yep, go ahead.
Up the Boro.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought he would say. Mike, any last things you want to say?
I won't say what I was going to say, but because it's a bit harsh and more people just start saying the thing. But you'd probably guess that it was going to be about something about somebody who I've commented about quite a bit on this video and stuff to do with some stats, some person who sorts out the team.
Pulis.
Oh.
Well done, Joe. Fist punch through the phone.
Yeah. I think is that it, guys? Is that it, guys? Oh, right. Mr. Money Gaming says, ask.
One last thing to say. Yes, and I'm still going to Stoke, West Brom, and Swansea away.
Oh, I'm gonna be the same as you. Me and my mum are going to Stoke.
Yeah.
There's a vlog coming out for the Stoke game in November. By the way, Mr. Money Game says, ask your friends in the chat who is going to get relegated in the Premier League. I've said Newcastle, West Ham, and Cardiff. Boro number one fan number one fan disagrees about West Ham. He thinks Huddersfield instead.
Newcastle, Burnley. Actually, Burnley is going to pick up.
Burnley will probably pick up, I think.
Darryl, I'm not going to say that because I haven't paid close enough attention to the low league of the Premier League, just the top of it.
Yeah. So do you think we'll win it?
Liverpool.
Liverpool won't get relegated.
I think Chelsea could, you know.
I'd rather Chelsea won it than Liverpool, because I want Liverpool, because if Liverpool don't win it, it'll be...
And Mike Froze. Oh no, it's back.
It'll be 7 seasons Liverpool have gone without winning anything.
Shame.
Actually, no, as I might say, if we can go 10 years without winning something, I might go and get a picture of me holding the banner up in Anfield. 10 years and you call yourself a big club.
Mick Muller says, up the Ipswich, however. We'll beat Bo on the 29th of December. Up from League One. And Mr. Money Gaming says Arsenal relegated. Can't say that. I think you got more chance of Arsenal finishing in the top 10 than that happening.
You've got more chance of Sunderland winning the championship in the next 100 seasons than that happening.
Does it? Being a Man U fan as well, would you coming on the other end of that banner at Liverpool with me?
Probably, but
Yeah. Do you think Man U will win the Premier League?
no. Will we yell? Mate, we just.
They have to go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
He has to go.
Actually, Mike, I don't actually watch Arsenal fan TV. I've seen it on your videos before.
Hang on. It's time to go. Hang on. It's now where Tottenham would say Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
One,
Middlesbrough.
Mr. Money Gaming